Heads up, everybody. I'm B. Francis Clark.
And I'm Anton Anderson.
And this is Sky is Black, future-facing conversations with experts, innovators, and entrepreneurs of African descent.
Covering the entire Black African diaspora.
Worldwide, baby. Worldwide. So would you please tell our brothers and sisters around the world your take?
Well, first of all, this is not an unboxing video or an in-depth review of the product, direct. Shout out to Marquez Brownlee, who did an amazing set of unboxing and trial videos.
Indeed.
You can learn more about him at mkbhd.com. I definitely say go check out his YouTube channel. So just to be clear, this is not that. Okay.
And that address was hnic.com, is that right?
Something like that.
Okay.
Marquez Brownlee.
Yes.
Brother, we love all the things you do.
Indeed.
His reviews of tech are just absolutely phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
No, this is not that. This is really just a chance to talk a little bit about sort of my impressions of it. So here it is. I'll take the cover off. I've learned the hard way. You want to keep the cover on.
Mm-hmm.
And really having a chance to evaluate it for a couple of different things. In particular, first of all, you can feel how light it is or is not.
Mm-hmm.
And here is the battery, which is a little bit very close to the size of an iPhone. I'll show you that.
Mm-hmm.
Here is, so here's an iPhone,
Mm-hmm.
but so the battery is thicker and heavier than that. But I'll tell you what, I've had it now for about a week,
Mm-hmm.
and you saw earlier on our little bit of B-roll.
Mm-hmm.
I look like a fat, less capable version of Geordi LaForge from Star Trek.
Stop that. Stop that.
But you know what? But dear listener, take a look at that. That's where we're starting. I mean, everything had to start somewhere.
Yes.
And then, and then go tune into Star Trek and look at where it's going. And the reason why I bring that up is that it's technology like this is a chance for us to have a new space.
Mm-hmm.
And is a new space for exploration and a new space for content creation and software development. And, it's really potentially, I think, a whole new platform Apple's positioning it as a whole new platform.
Well, it's going to change the world. I mean,
I agree.
When it was first announced and they put out the video about it, I sent it to my daughters saying, the world is now officially changed.
I agree.
And I even feel more strongly about that now with holding Excalibur.
But I'll say one of the things I'll say about this, and then I'll put it on. We'll pause for a second and get you set up to try it a little bit. One, I've had a chance to use it as in lieu of my computer screen, so you can actually project your computer screen onto it or through it, and having the ability to, especially when you're on a laptop or something small, being able to then have a much larger screen, I found to be really powerful, because oftentimes when I've been with clients or if I'm traveling, they're on my little laptop screen, and I'm not a small guy, and so and I don't fly first class, so if I'm on the those seat back tables and everything else, you're very much crammed up.
Oh, we're cramped.
But then to be able to turn this on and to project your screen out onto it, suddenly you've got as big a screen as you want. And that's not to say anything about the entertainment experiences. I mean, the entertainment experiences are, I think, bar none. I mean, I had a chance to watch a video, an Apple-produced immersive video where they were walking around and you could be next to a rhinoceros, and literally I was sitting in bed.
A rhinoceros will rock your world.
But
FYI.
But then it's coming up, in a more curated space where they're rescuing them and everything else, and it comes
Here,
up to
rhino, here, rhino.
And in 3D, it was eating grass, practically out of my lap, and I could turn my head and look around and see different things, and it's just a tremendous experience. I mean,
that's almost an irresponsible video. Because there's no way in the world it's eating out of your lap. It is actually eating you out of his lap.
Well, they're herbivores, so he wouldn't be eating me. And
those things kill more people.
they are very dangerous animals.
Yeah.
This was in an enclosed area, a paddock, and it was a South African rescue organization that is really trying to help conserve rhinos, reintroduce them back into the wild. But the video was just absolutely tremendous. I can't even begin to describe it, especially the immersive part of it, to where not only do you see the stuff that's coming at you head on, but being able to have things, to be able to swing your head around and see some other person feeding some other animal off to one side.
Keep your head on the swivel.
And it was really amazing. And they have a number of other demonstration videos that were tremendous about it. But going back to my main interest in evaluating it was really as a tool for business. And because a 3D use case, if you're making molecules or if you're doing things that
I'm always making molecules.
Well, I never
I'm always making molecules.
But if you're doing things that lend themselves to 3D, I mean the use case is obvious, and in many cases it's already been done. I mean people are already using these type of headsets for that type of work, and even like to a lesser extent like real estate visualizations and walkthroughs and things like that. For sure. To be in a more business, I wouldn't say more business environment, but in a atypical 3D environment, I think that's going to become more typical. Is the point. And so, for example, like stockbrokers, things like people like that who normally have like 4 or 5 different screens because they have to have a lot of different things going. Well, suddenly they don't need to have this wall of screens. They could have a device like this, probably a lighter version of it.
Eventually,
I mean, that's to me that's the exciting thing. Is that this is the bulkiest and heaviest it's going to be.
It will ever be. Version 1.0.
Right.
Yeah.
Probably the most expensive it'll ever be. Probably the least capable it'll ever be. This is like the worst version of this product that will ever be.
But it's still the best version of the first version. Meaning, if you know anything about Apple naming history, this is the Apple Vision Pro.
Correct.
Which suggests that there is, at some point down the line, a regular Apple Vision.
Right.
And so my guess is that the next version of this will be the regular Apple Vision, pretty much the same features, and then the Apple Vision Pro gets a bigger upgrade somehow or another, both in form factor and functionality.
I agree 100%. And going back in terms of we're an Afrofuturism podcast.
Oh yes, we are.
Talk about how do we come into the future? First of all,
high stepping and stomping.
Exactly. And looking at the very first time someone sent me a picture of me wearing this, I immediately flashed ahead to Geordie LaForge. And
I always wondered what it's like to be a member of Parliament Funkadelic. That's my question.
Well, there's that too. But I mean, but we've talked about this before on this podcast about how the original communicator, the Spock, get me out of here communicator, was there's a direct through line to the Motorola StarTAC. The iPad. You see a fictionalized version of that also on Star Trek, and obviously lots of other science fiction has been an inspiration for real world technologies. But the opportunity to see this be the first step, baby step, towards...
I think it's more than a baby step. To me, it's a huge leap.
Arguably.
I mean, if this thing is off the hook...
I mean, in the Star Trek universe, it's called the Visor, VISOR. That has some acronym that I'd have to look up. But being able to take a step towards that, and for Geordie LaForge, it was all like neural implant because he was actually blind. But what's interesting is that right now this is really trying to project, augmented reality, to being able to see the real world.
It's amazing.
But then being able to go and potentially even see in like different spectra and things like that, to be able to see things that you couldn't see. And certainly the entertainment experiences I had were ones that I could not have had otherwise. One of the videos I saw was this lady who does these high walking tightrope deals over fjords in Norway, and I'm never going to do that ever. I'll be with the rhinoceroses before I am doing rope walking over a fjord in Norway, 3,000 feet up.
I'll be taking you to the airport saying, good luck, have a great trip.
So that to me, though, the other thing, though, is also on a much more mundane level, is that, with your iPhone, you can take they call spatial video. And so you can take videos of things in 3 dimensions and then play them back on this. And to me, that's been really tremendous. I've actually captured a lot of videos of my kids like that. And going back to how that affects our people, being able to capture things in 3D, being able to capture these memories, these experiences, I think gives us the opportunity. You can obviously capture with the device itself, but being able to capture in high fidelity an experience and a story. And I think it creates a unique opportunity now for all of us, ladies and gentlemen, not just black people, but creates an opportunity for all of us to really capture those oral stories, capture those traditions, capture those things in a way that, quite frankly, isn't so, pardon the pun, so flat. And being able to do that, to me, I think, is really wonderful. Are you ready to give it another swing?
I am, but I have a question, though, first. So can you imagine a time where people can share the experience with this?
I think that's coming.
Via Bluetooth or via some technology in a way that's not necessarily virtual, because we're not trying to do the metaverse virch thing,
which is not this. I mean, trying to do.
I mean, this is augmented reality as opposed to virtual reality.
Correct.
But do you see a possibility or a use case for sharing this augmented reality?
I think 100%. I think that there'll be. Right, I wouldn't even be surprised if it's just simply a software update. Because right now, if we both were wearing one of these, we would both be seeing our own individual screens and our own individual content. But given how Apple's able to take a computer screen and share it high-speed wirelessly to the Vision Pro display, to me it doesn't seem that much of a leap for us to, if you and I were wearing one,
share content,
then agree and say, okay, this particular window or this particular content or this particular movie, we're going to watch together.
Shared space.
Yeah, and the building blocks of that are already there. I mean, Apple has Share Play, where you can coordinate and sync up your viewing of videos. I think that if it isn't like version 2 of the software, it might even be a version 1.5 of the software. All the building pieces are there, and I don't think it's that big of a leap to do that. And I think that being able to, I've taken now a couple of Zoom calls actually with my avatar.
You didn't do FaceTime? You ended up doing Zoom calls?
Well, actually, I did. I've done FaceTime as well. But actually, my very first one was a Zoom call. It was funny because I actually was working from home that day and had both. It was the President's Day holiday weekend, and both kids were home, and so I had to take a private phone call. And I learned over the pandemic that your office can be in the car. And so, if we have really private type meetings, we'll take them in the car.
Or the sidewalk or around the block or whatever maybe.
It was raining that day. And so I was sitting in the car, and I put this on.
That will jack your perm all up.
It did mess up my hair, but then again, I kind of I cleaned it all back up. But it was really interesting because suddenly I was able to have a conversation and be able to, because of the 3D effect, you're able to have the picture much larger. And so then, in terms of my field of view, the person I was talking to was life size. And I've done that now a couple of times, both on Zoom and on FaceTime.
Is it disorienting in any way?
For me, absolutely not. Okay. It actually was really incredible. I remember taking with one of my clients a FaceTime call where I was sitting at my dining room table, and I actually had them sitting in a chair, essentially my son's, kids chair, but they were life size. And so the amount of interaction I felt with them, the personal connection I felt was much different than when you're holding a little phone or even like an iPad and trying to do a FaceTime or a Zoom, because you're very much constrained. And then also because even though it was a rectangle, and I think also that'll be a software update to where they'll be able to take your outline, just like you can drop into a virtual background, they can remove the other person's background to where that person would just be in my space. But having them in my space made me want to clean up the kids' toys. But I mean, because I just felt like that, I felt like I was really with them. And then on the flip side, on the receiving side, the people who've seen my second try, I've done it more than once, my build of my avatar, which is sort of a digital rendering of your face, because when you're wearing this, you're not really actually able to see, a camera on Zoom, like when I put it on right now, won't see your eyes or see anything else, and so it scans it and does a representation of it, which looks a little, you're very much in what they call the uncanny valley. It doesn't exactly look like you, but asking the people I talked to candidly, they said, you know what, it was a little bit unusual at first, but then as you continue talking, because it showed my eye movements and a little bit of my hands and my eyebrows, I mean, it did represent my face and, of course, my mouth moving.
Bootsy Collins, how'd you get on this phone call?
No, they say it made me look a little younger, which I actually will like. Shout out to Dr. Joy with the with some of the facial algorithms there, identifying you as a little younger. My algorithm made me, my avatar made me, my Apple persona made me look a little bit younger, which I'll take, and it was really great. Let me get it started for you, and we can keep talking for a second, and we'll talk about it a little bit more.
Well, and while I am checking things out, you can try some of these Tefftastic snacks.
Sure, absolutely.
These, by the way, are delicious. So these are made from Teff, which is the ancient Ethiopian super grain.
Awesome.
So this particular flavor that you're about to try right here is meat mita, which is a signature Ethiopian spice. It's not quite on the level of Berbere, which is the signature spice in Ethiopia, but it's delicious. It's spicy but not painful. And so these are also gluten-free, and they have a number of different flavors. So again, this is the meat mita, but they also have a chocolate. They have a chocolate sea salt. They have a cinnamon. They have a cluster, which is like these plus raisins and peanuts, which are delicious.
Nice.
And so I bring this up because the founder of this company, Bethlehem Alemu, is one of the most successful and inspirational female entrepreneurs in Africa. She is the founder of this company. She is the founder of Soul Rebels, SOLE, which is a handmade running and comfort shoe company. And she's also one of the driving forces behind Salam Bank, which will be unveiled sometime soon, and we'll talk about that. But she was kind enough to send this to my family because my daughter is gluten intolerant.
Nice.
And so this is perfect for her. And so the only reason why we only have this one is because we killed all the rest of them. Nice. So these are delicious, and just want to say thank you to you, Bethlehem Alemu, for this. It is delicious. We love it, and more orders will be on the way. And so if you guys are interested in learning more about this, go to Tefftastic Eats. So it's TEFFTASTIC Tefftastic Eats.com. So try this out. This is how we do Ujamaa. This is how we support one another around the world. And so this is the new way that we get things done. So while I'm on that, or while you're on that, I'll have some of these, and then you can try some on your own. But these are delish. So hold on. So the ingredients are organic black Ethiopian teff, red chilies, afar sea salt, pressed sunflower oil.
All right, let me try a couple of them. And by the way, I have the device on. I can see you, and I've been able to see you this whole time. You can hand one to me. And so for those of you watching on video, I'm able to maneuver and do things very normally. I mean, I can very much see my environment, but at the same time, I've got pictures and a calendar and a few other things.
And a few sharks floating by, right?
No, nothing like that. Those are good.
They are good. So spicy, but not painful.
Right. Seriously. I mean, and so one of the nice things about
perfect for a sandwich.
Oh, they would be good with a sandwich.
They are delicious with a sandwich. Trust me, I know.
Okay, let me get this going for you before we run out of time.
Tefftastic Eats, slam it.
Okay.
Almost tempted to slam on the table, but
don't do that.
No.
So I'm taking out my optical inserts. So because I normally wear glasses, as you can tell, I took those out, and you're gonna take your glasses off, and I'm gonna hand this to you.
Okay. I'm going in, ladies and gentlemen.
And one thing I will say while he's putting this on is
if I don't come back, it just means that I made it to Wakaddis.
You're wearing he's using the Soul Loop band, which I found that for short use or for people trying it out, you're going to want to touch that, follow the instructions right in front of you where it's telling you to raise it up a little bit, and then press on the button. There's a button right there.
This button right here.
Yes.
Okay.
Continue to press it.
We got to press on. You got to press on.
Press.
You got to press on. You can't stop. You can't.
Just press and hold it down.
Okay. If you're going to be indignant about it, okay, fair enough.
And so now it's on, and
It is on.
It wants to
Not only on, it's on and
It's
cracking.
giving you some directions to press and hold the digital crown.
Mm-hmm.
And touch it. Press it again. Press the
Triple
button.
click top button for no. That's what I am pressing the digital crown.
Just hold it down, I guess.
Okay, I'm going to touch it. There we go.
Now hold your hands out.
Don't shoot. And that is not meant to be funny whatsoever. We got brothers and sisters going through hell with that very motion right there.
So follow the directions, look at the dot, and then tap your fingers together. You don't need to reach out to touch it.
Oh, yes, I do.
Just touch your fingers together again. And the next one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now it's snowing. So I'm selecting dots right now. So I kind of put dots into a circle, and I'm looking at the dots and then selecting them with my fingers. And so,
Yeah, and we'll edit this out.
oh, this is quality television. I said we are Emmy Award worthy. Perhaps not at episode 1. That may not come until episode 25 or so. But we'll get there. Do not despise the day of small things, saith the Lord.
And then just tap your fingers together to acknowledge that safety video. And so now you can kind of see what's going on. You can right now, so ladies and gentlemen, what's happening is I'm actually mirroring the display onto my iPad, which is actually a really cool thing you can do.
It's a
as
good
you're
looking
guiding other
calendar you
people.
got
So
right
that
there.
way you can see my calendar, you can see some of my photographs, and you can touch actually any of those pictures. Don't change my calendar, please. And actually, if you sort of use your hand and move back and forth.
This is our alma mater right here.
Yes, it is. If you look down at the pictures down below and then scroll your hand back and forth, scrub right, you'll go backwards and keep going further back, further back, further back. You'll see some videos. And if you tap some of those, you'll see now what a 3D video looks like. You might need to scroll even further back, but the whole idea is you can have different memories because those are actually from today, and so I'm not sure if it's loaded into the device or not. But give you a chance to sort of see what the 3D effect looks like there as you're going along. This was actually the Black History Month presentation there at our alma mater. But if you scroll back, you'll see some other ones that are actually probably loaded
I
into
see
the machine.
a djembe in the background right there, so we were halfway home right there.
Yes,
so.
exactly. Keep scrolling back and see if there's any of those that will let you touch. Those might be flat pictures.
Okay.
Now you're moving the window around.
Oh, yes, I am.
Yes, you are.
I don't mean to be, but I am moving around. Okay, let me just see what happens.
And so now you can see you can position things around.
So I can stack the windows.
Yes. So why
that's
don't you
really cool.
Go ahead and press down that button again that you pressed before.
This on the crown?
Yes.
Okay.
And now you can choose different things. Now, and if you
Okay.
look at the one that says Mars rover, you can look at that and then tap your fingers together. And right there in front of you on this table is the Mars rover.
How cool is that?
And so, the sound's actually coming out through the iPad. But you can look and you can use your fingers to spin it around. and look at it, and you can touch where it says and make it full size. Right now, it's just sort of a tabletop model. You'll see there's a little slider in the window next to it that talks about the Jet Propulsion Lab, and you can exactly. So you can make it bigger, smaller, and it's sitting
how
here.
Dope is this? This is amazing.
Table. And
amazing. You would think I have no vocabulary whatsoever, but I'm going to say it again. Amazing.
And we don't have a time for a full demo, but this is these kinds of things, being able to explore things, being able to have different memories and different interactions with this.
Yes.
I mean, we're going to talk about this more in future episodes, but we're just wanting to give you a little taste, a little touch on what this does. I mean, and it's innovations like this, and we're going to talk to some experts who are developing new content for it. We're excited about what new content are going to come from people from all over the world to be used in this type of an environment. And truly, these are the kinds of experts, innovators, and entrepreneurs that we highlight here on Sky is Black.
That's right.
We are thrilled to have you here for our very first video episode. Not quite our very first 3D episode, but certainly 3-camera episode. For those of you who've had a chance to be a part of it. And we want to thank you again for being a part of it.
Yes.
And so Sky is black.
Sky is augmented.
Sky is vision in 3D.
Sky is mitmatic. No, Sky is meatmita. Sky is meatmita.
Yeah, delicious, tasty snacks.
Absolutely. Sky is Tefftastic.
Sky is black. And thank you for watching.
Sky is Emmys.
All right.